When is this shit gonna pay off? I've been slaving away with no day off. I'm praying with patience like sad soul. I came for the piss, I love pray, I love bro. I take off no day off, I stay on my case, I break base and I pay ball, don't pay like a goat. I play off so great, I'll do fiction, little hoe. I'm playing the game till I stay on my phones. Industry politic, you miss me, I know that bitch is the top is sitting. Yes, I lock in the minute, I wanna miss you. 5, 4, fun, giant wishes with a pot of piss and there's some hot decisions on the way. I'm fucking your hoe, yeah, she asked for that favor. She get after you, stick with no player. Go harder, 2 skills, and I pay stuff. They calling me Beast Boy, they rave about me, GT on the town now. I'm a star on fire with the shit. I'm having the show in the limelight. They calling me the GOAT, and I don't even know it. When I be Twitch in my life, I scream for the shit so sweet like a soda, I float. In this bitch, wife your nose, you gotta coke in a stiff. Light up a spiff, that's the whole fucking shit. Looking for me cause they know that I'm this guy. In this bitch, wipe your nose, you gotta coke in a stiff. Light up a spiff, that's the whole fucking shit. Looking for me cause they know that I'm this guy. When is this shit gonna pay off? I've been slaving away with no day off. I'm praying with patience like sad soul. I came for the piss, I love pray, I love bro. I take off no day off, I stay on my case, I break base and I pay ball, don't pay like a goat. I play off so great, I'll do fiction, little hoe. I'm playing the game till I stay on my phones. Industry politic, you miss me, I know that bitch is the top is sitting. Yes, I lock in the minute, I wanna miss you. 5, 4, fun, giant wishes with a pot of piss and there's some hot decisions on the way. I'm fucking your hoe, yeah, she asked for that favor. She get after you, stick with no player. Go harder, 2 skills, and I pay stuff.
Yeah, respects. I'ma make it obvious. Time to kill. Yeah, time to kill. Watch 'em. I used to play dead like a possum. Now I break bread with apostles. I can blame death for the posture. Now I make the best out of options. Watch it. Claim you the best, but he jockey. Can't see the stress cause I washed it. Can't see the claim but the best cause I washed it. Stance in these jeans so correct with the stress that's a wash. I was born flyer than a hawk. From the surface seeing forlorn in the hospital. Caught him squirting things, now he is in a box. What about the purpose thing of fall? Yeah, I peeked from afar. The passion so deep, might cut my skin for the ball. Reaction so lead off respect, that's attractive. I scream at the water, I don't do closed captions. That's your manager? Yeah, bro, your coach happened. I float, man, I used to write quotes on the napkin. Niggas, this was my opinion, this is spinning inaccurate. I ain't baffled. Should I change my own battle? Dark matter. Niggas knocks play sharks for the wrong battle. I wake up, my head sparks a death wish. I could assure you niggas it's electric. Your dialect dead, your dial up, you getting smooth fed. My niggas still wishing on luck. I'm in the field with the field smooth pressing above. Love is love, so I turn into my own doctor. Be in a beautiful mess, new lesson of love. With a day out on my own, I choose chess and some drugs. I peep the K on the clone.
I change the world through your eyes. Normal always changes, I swear. What you cook looks aesthetically pleasing, but no seasoning. Maybe it's the time to let loose what you're having. Not everything is as it seems, but no, it's always happening. Drugs in my cabinet. The plug walked past me in the club, but he tapped me trying to make some kids rich. No more chasing ill shit, bro, I'm too ill for this. Paying these bills with bills, changing my feel for bliss. I got brothers that's been killed, it made my mind shift. I don't utter a sound, I let you judge what you want. I know I've been on the ground, coulda got hit with a round of round news, splitting my image and brows. Am I limited? Limitless death holding me down, and my pigment is the loudest. Wait, I'm smoking loud, let me finish it. I'm one of one in the crowd. I can't act like I don't know as of now what my mission is.
I told a story once or twice about where I wanna lay.
Stuck in the future, that's why I flight's delayed.
Hoping to give back, no kickback, and deaf in what I pay.
They say we ain't a man.
Yo. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Disagreeable. This is Disagreeable. I am disagreeable. We are disagreeable. You feel me? And I love how disagreeable the word itself and the connotation has this negative connotation. You know what? If things are right and in their proper order, if things are right and in their proper order, being disagreeable is not necessary. You feel me? But things are not right in their proper order. That's why I'm disagreeable. And you mundane, surface level thinking dummies that I'm glad I got away from. You feel me? Have nothing, I'm not associated with that side at all. But you mundane, simple thinking dummies don't realize why I would choose this name, disagreeable. If we live in a sick, disgusting, retarded, gay, pedophilic world, why would I want to be agreeable with that? Huh? You see the title, Lucid Dreams, Subconscious Mind, Burn the Loosh Farm. I freestyle all the shows, but this one's going to be even more freestyle, more flowy. Since we're talking about the subconscious mind and we're talking about lucid dreams, this show is going to be like a dream. Usually I drink my green tea and I have about 3 to 4 tea bags in there. You feel me? Pause, if necessary, honey. This time, we got the chamomile tea bag in there. We got the linden leaf in there, you feel me? And we're keeping it cool and calm with this one. Yeah, let me get a sip of that tea. All right. So, see a couple people pulled up. You could be randoms. You could be people who know me. You could be nosy people. It is what it is. Where should we go with it first? Should we speak on the subconscious mind? Or should we speak on the lucid dreams? We're just going to flow with this one. You feel me? We're just going to flow. Because anybody who's been around this show knows that I like to simplify these concepts that people try to make complicated and convoluted so they can seem intelligent, so you can seem smart. You running your fucking mouth on the internet does not make you smart. You're not in any competitions. You have no documentation. You feel me? Unlike me, on the other hand, that I don't come up here and throw in people's faces. But the closer, and there is no distance between me and these things. Distance is an illusion. But just so you people can understand me, the closer I get to my goal in the markets, the more arrogant I'm getting, and I'm liking it's turning me up more. You feel me? Because pursuing a trading career and building a trading business is an arrogant pursuit in itself. It's an arrogant pursuit. They say 95, 97% of people fail or whatever. That's the number they try to put out there. I like those numbers. I like that. That's for me. That's like beating a Fed case every day. Every day I wake up and I open up my computer and I follow my rules. I follow my process and my understanding of that, my analysis of the markets. I'm beating a Fed case every day. It feels great. You feel me? And everybody tries to pull you down from the heavens to where they are. Oh, it's gambling. It's this, it's that. You a bitch. You feel me? I would never listen to you. You're a bitch. Why would I listen to you? You're below me. And the greatest, and everybody who's into these market shit, I want you to keep going. Now we're gonna get into the lucid dream and shit. The spirit hit me to say this right now. Anybody who's into this market shit, I want you to keep going and keep getting documentation that proves you're better than niggas. You feel me? Well, if you've ever passed a prop firm exam if you've ever passed a prop firm exam, you are top 12% people on the planet. The data reflects this. The statistics reflect this. You feel me? And guess what? If we need more data, we need hard documentation about where we are, why our arrogance matters, why our self-belief and our self-starter shit really matters. If you get a payout, you're then top 3% on the planet. Top 3%, it feels good. It feels good. You feel me? That's why when people come with their opinions and their corny, just babbling, parroting, fucking miserable, desperate nonsense on the internet, that's why I don't get any when I'm speaking to other traders, like when I've been in paying for my education, edifying myself, I've been in several different trading groups, and you see people hitting crazy P&Ls. You see people, bam, right there. You just made your little $200, $500, whatever you made on the same play. Somebody else in the group posts their 20 accounts that are stacked. Bam, 25,000 on the day. 25,000 on the day. The leader of one of the groups I'm in, I'm not going to drop the name, niggas ain't paying me, but the leaders of one of the groups I was in, $250,000 on the Bitcoin play. Somebody who's below him in the group posted up their proof, 7 figures on a Bitcoin play because he held the position. The leader of the group, you know, he's trying to be responsible. He's like, we hit this level, I'm getting out of here, $250,000, right? Another dude held the position, 7 figures. 7 figures on the fucking Bitcoin play. And you're seeing this, it's real. And unlike some people will see this and be like, oh, they're lucky. They're lucky, I can't do that. Excuse me. I'm not some people. I'm the person who sees that. I'm like, I can do that. I can definitely do that. I can do that better. As a matter of fact, I will surpass people and become prolific in this game. You feel me? And whoever got to die and get out of here for that reason, they got to go. Rest in peace, Omni. Rest in peace, Omni. Nigga got mad that he got surpassed. You feel me? Nigga, let me. But like I said, what we're gonna get into now, like I said, this show, Lucid Dream, Subconscious Mind, Burn the Loosh Farm, this show is gonna flow like a dream. So let's go. Let's find our first subject matter to get into. If you don't have the patience for long form content, if pauses make you uncomfortable and you need constant clips and angle cuts and goddamn constant speaking, never a silent moment to ponder, this is not the place for you. This is not the place for you. You feel me? But yeah, we're gonna go mess with the homie Tiger 123. You feel me? He black. You feel me? Believe it or not, he black. His hair gives it away. So shout out to the homie. I was gonna put him in the title, but I don't want to cloud chase off of him. I like people who got their own thing going on. And like I said, this is gonna be. I did want to speak about hypnagogic states, but I feel like maybe we'll get there. You feel me? But like I said, this show's just gonna flow. So unplanned, we'll go. Oh, and this is very interesting. He has a video right here about how to talk to your subconscious. OP. Let's get right into that. I'm feeling drawn to this one, and just like a dream, we're gonna go there. And give me a second. All right, I got it pulled up. But I wanted to say this before we get into that. I'm like 3 weeks going into like a month of not burning any herb. You feel me? I didn't bring it up on any prior shows because it's not a big deal. It kind of makes me sick and disgusted when I see people like, oh, 3 days, no weed. Oh, 7 days. Oh my God, I failed. I wanted to stop smoking for a week and I couldn't stop. I smoked again on the 3rd day. It's kind of like these guys that make this content about like not jacking off. They're like, oh, no fap 3 days into my no fap journey. I'm like, nigga, how much you niggas be fucking abusing yourselves? Watching that fucking Jewish adult entertainment and just abusing your phallus, abusing your obelisk. You feel me? What's wrong with you niggas? Oh, I'm 4 days into my no fap. It's loser shit. And the reason I will never celebrate such, and let me not take this away because I'm a different type of person. If you're the type of person that needs to celebrate these tiny things, you feel me? But I don't know. Maybe I'll never understand. I've never had a true addictive personality. I just do things and then I stop doing them. You feel me? I never understand. Like, oh my God, I can't stop. I remember when I was outside heavily. You feel me? Pulling up on the homie's house. You know, the homie is an advanced 25-year plus cannabis cultivator. You know, a genetic master. My Mendel. You feel me? I wish I could shout him out, but that wouldn't be wise. But I love this nigga. You feel me? So we have copious amounts of marijuana around, organically grown, and we know the hands and the person who grew it. So if If we're around, we tend to take full advantage. So I go over one day, and people are passing. We have mad flavors. It's always this is how it always is. It's mad flavors going around, mad different blunts, joints, whatever the fuck you want. The finest of hash. I know who made the hash. I know who washed the hash myself. You feel me? It's all at our fingertips. And the homie goes to pass me one of the J's or blunts or whatever the fuck it was, and I'm just like, nah, I'm good. And this nigga was like, what, why not? And I'm like, yo, I'm just taking a break. I'm just chilling. He's like, you just stopping? Like, are you on papers or something? This nigga could not believe it. He was asking me if I was on papers. I was like, nigga, no, I'm just stopping smoking for a while. Like, what the fuck? You niggas are really weed addicts. You feel me? And I understand how you can become a quote unquote weed addict. This shit will sneak up on you. And the interesting thing about it is you might try to, some people try to take a break and they take a break for 2-3 days. And then they'll be like, oh, nothing really changed, so I might as well keep smoking. Nigga, here's the thing about the herb. If you don't stop for like 90 days plus, you don't even realize it's been fucking you up. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so we'll get right into something. Let me get this up here. We got Tiger123 in his video about how to talk to your subconscious. So I'll make some comments, but we're gonna let Tiger get into it.
Looks maxing, more like sleep maxing. Am I right, guys? But I came to this realization that you need to maximize your inner autism, bro. You need to maximize your inner autism that we all have. Or if you're already autistic, you need to up this. You need to start upping this, okay? And we do this through altered states and sleep states, not just like lucid dreaming, not just using lucid dreaming to goon and fuck anyone you want, which is great, of course, but also the states going to sleep and coming out of sleep, like hypnagogic imagery, when you're having hallucinations and your brain kind of starts going off on tangents and acting like itself, and it kind of starts acting really weird when you're going to sleep. That's hypnagogia. You can use those states to do so many things, and people just do not use this untapped raw power, okay, that they have. They don't take advantage of these states. And I came to this realization last night that when you're falling asleep and before sleep,
I don't have my headphones in right now, so if you're getting any feedback or anything like that, just please let me know in the chat.
When you're coming out of sleep, anything to do with sleep, these states are begging you to take advantage of them, bro. They want you to fucking dominate them. They want to be dominated, bro. They're submissive as shit. But I'm being for real, because when I say they're like autistic, those are not words from my own mouth, okay? I was reading, this will be kind of unstructured, but I was reading this large-ass thesis on hypnagogia. This guy got a bunch of info and study on hypnagogia. I didn't know that shit was that deep, but like apparently it is. And a researcher called the mode of thinking, which is hypnagogia. So as you're falling asleep, that weird kind of schizo ranting, he called that autistic. And another person called that...
Let's take our time. I know people don't really know about this shit, and I'm not the type to either look at something myself, because I already looked into this, but I want people to look into things for themselves. So let's look up hypnagogia. Hypnagogia. You feel me? Let's share this tab instead for a second, so we can have a clear understanding before we let him ramble a bit. All right. Hypnagogia is the transitional threshold state of consciousness between wakefulness and sleep, often characterized by vivid, dreamlike, or hallucinatory experiences, visual, auditory, or sensory. It is a normal, non-pathological experience affecting up to 70% of people, often featuring lucid dreaming, muscle jerks, or brief sleep paralysis. And that's interesting. Since this is on the top of my mind, I just want to mention this. Like, I injured my knee pretty badly. I'm getting better now. That's why I'm talking more shit. You feel me? But I injured my knee pretty badly. And one of the nights I was laying there, pretty badly. You feel me? So I'm laying there. And before I went to sleep, I remember speaking to my subconscious, be like, all right, And I speak very plainly to my subconscious. I was like, all right, whatever we got to do, let's do it. Let's fix this knee quickly. We need to heal like Wolverine. You are Wolverine. We need to heal on these levels at these speeds. You feel me? And there's little things I know, like, this so-called gateway project, how it mentioned the color green being connected to healing, how you can visualize it and send it to places. So in my mind, I sent myself to like a pristine room, like a surgery room with just a table, which was a green block, and the whole room was green. The walls were green, the ceiling was green, and these green alien-like beings. I invited them in, and I made the parameters very clear. Like, the only thing you have permission to do is heal my knee. You can't affect my soul, my spirit, my mind, my thinking, nothing else. The only permission you have to do is heal the fucking knee, and then you could use it for your experiments or whatever. Tell niggas out in outer space that you healed my knee. Now, and then the other thing that I was thinking of, whoever wants to come help me out, and Jesus, if you're real, come in here, come help me out. But all you can do is heal the knee. The spirit of my grandmother, who I know who loves me, you can come in here, you can help me heal my knee. That night when I fell asleep, I had one of the weirdest out of body experiences, to where I was just literally out of my body. I could see around the room, but I didn't have any control. You ever seen those things on the DVD save screen where it's just kind of like bouncing to one side and it bounces to this side, it bounces down, and bounces like aimlessly? That's what my awareness, I guess, or my spirit was doing around the room, to the point where I would bounce off the ceiling, and then I started going towards the floor, and it's like it's as if I'm being slowly dropped, descending towards the floor, face first, slowly, till I hit the floor, until I had to pull myself out of it and wake up. You feel me? So that's and one thing you notice too, when you're staying still, and you're trying to go to sleep, when you're injured, you'll have these muscle jerks. So I feel like this hypnagogic, I'm getting to the point. I feel like this hypnagogic state is very important on so many levels. Everybody knows that sleeping and getting deep sleep is important for healing. But I feel like that state, the hypnagogic state, where you get the muscle jerks, where you get the little electronic pulses through your body and shit like that, knowing that, understanding that, and knowing how to mentally work within those spaces is extremely important. In what way? How do I do it, nigga? Do I got to tell you everything? Let's go. Oh yeah, I was trying this one. Let's should this tab instead. Go back to the homie.
Magical childlike thinking. You're basically going back to childlike thinking if you can be aware of hypnagogia. And that's completely true. And we need that autistic childlike thinking, bro. Because why do they call it that? You're completely absorbed in fantasy. You're not thinking about the outside world at all. You're in a receptive mode of thinking. That's what it's called. When you're not concerned with the outside world, you're not striving to do anything in the outside world, you're completely absorbed in your mind. So much so that sometimes you will completely separate from your ego and just be absorbed in like the image you're having in hypnagogic imagery. Now, I say we need to take advantage of this because people don't realize whether you're remembering dreams or not, and everyone has dreams every night, whether you remember them or not, what's happening in your dreams is literally affecting your whole fucking life. What's happening while you're sleeping is affecting your next day. And I realize this because firstly, I should say as well, think of astral projection, telepathy, anything psychic, anything occult, reality shifting, manifestation, whether you believe in them or not, because I don't believe in all of those, but whether you believe in them or not, what do they all have in common? What do all these weird fucking schizo powers have in common, bro? They're mainly done around sleep. Like astral projection techniques are done as you're falling asleep, basically. They're very similar to lucid dreaming techniques. A lot of reality shifting techniques are done around sleep. Manifestation techniques, the main one, state akin to sleep, which is when before you go to sleep and you're in a drowsy state, you think about what you want as if you already have it, and then law of attraction manifestation motherfuckers will be like, oh, that will attract things into your life and whatever. But no, that shit is so real because it literally affects your subconscious brain. Why does, before you go to sleep and you're in a drowsy state before you sleep, why does thinking about what you want and thinking positively about things as you fall asleep, why would that have any effect on your brain? It's because as you're going into hypnagogia, bro, your brain is extremely open because your inhibitions are lower. That's why before you sleep, that's like a creativity hotspot because you don't have all these walls up in your brain. So when
To put it simply, you're too tired for your self-doubt and your shitty self-image to get into the way.
you're falling asleep, your brain can literally become schizophrenic freely in a safe, controlled manner and kind of go off on tangents. And I noticed this when I was doing manifestation exercises when I was younger, because I was so broke and my life was so shit. I was having to do the fucking $1 surveys. You know, do this survey for $1. It takes like 3 hours, but at least I got $1 from doing a fucking survey. My point is, my life was so fucking ass, bro. So I was doing the manifestation shit. And because I have good above average dream recall, I realized that this was affecting me the next day because I would do one of these manifestation exercises as I was going to sleep. And so I would be thinking positively about things and like, oh, I have a bunch of friends, I'm rich and whatever. I was just being delusional. But then I realized in my dreams, whether I was going to remember them or not, I was having dreams where I was more confident and more positive and more happy. And of course, your dreams affect you the next day, bro. I don't know if you've ever had a thing where there's someone in your life or at your school or whatever that you don't actually give a fuck about. Like, you don't really think about them, but you may have a dream about this person, and then the next day you have a fucking crush on them, or like you're thinking about them a lot. I don't know if you ever had that, but that's actually a thing people have. That's because your dreams have so much effect on your waking life that you don't even realize. And so literally what you implant in your brain before or as you're falling asleep will affect your dreams, and your dreams will affect you your whole next day.
And that's facts. And I want to add to this also. Back in the day, when I was practicing astral projection and lucid dreaming heavily, the one thing, how do I say this? Because I want to get right back to Tiger talking. The lucid dream practice and getting better at lucid dreaming, it would seem to lubricate waking life. That's the best way to put it. It would lubricate waking life. Things would just go smoother.
So that's why if you have a really shitty nightmare, that's going to kind of make your day feel shit for a lot of people. And my point is everyone has access to these altered states, not even lucid dreaming. You don't even have to put an effort to lucid dream. If you just start falling asleep with the kind of intention in the back of your head to be aware of your hypnagogic imagery and pay attention to what happens when your brain, what happens to your brain when you start falling asleep, you will be able to access this altered state where you are more creative, when you have access to your brain going off on tangents, and it can even be used for dream interpretation. Because what's a better state to interpret dreams you've had in the past than literally a fucking half dreaming state, bro? And you know Carl Jung, that was that the guy who thought we were attracted to women because of our mother, or was that Sigmund Freud? I don't remember which one it was, but like Carl Jung, Sigmund
It was Freud. He's a weirdo.
Freud, they were kind of friends or whatever. And you know, Carl Jung had that thing on active imagination, active imagination. So he kind of entered this schizophrenic state. It's literally like a schizophrenic state while he was awake. And he was able to kind of explore his subconscious mind and see what his mind was telling him. Bro, that is literally hypnagogia. That is literally fucking hypnagogia. And so you can enter that state as you're falling asleep. My point is, you have access to like all these fucking superpowers basically within you. And most people are retarded, bro. Like, I'm also retarded in that I'm not as creative as I want to be, but we can all be much more creative if we access our autistic, childlike thinking before we go to sleep. And I'm saying this because you do not need to lucid dream to access these really cool states.
And people only connect creativity and enhancing your creativity to enhancing your artistic abilities or something that they just see as silly or disregard. You feel me? No, your creativity and your imagination is linked to everything. Something as simple as you want to learn something, you might get a more creative idea of how to study. You feel me? That comes directly from your subconscious. And since it came from you and it's your own personal ritual, if you would like to say, it will be more effective for you.
And you can enter hypnagogia during the day as well. And my point is that, as I said, whether you believe them or not, all these occult things and all this shit, so much of it is centered around your sleep. So do you maybe not think that you should be paying a little more attention to your sleep, bro? A little more attention. And so when you see someone pull up to your school or your work and they're like, bro, I just went 24 hours with sleep, ha ha. Look at them, like they're retarded, bro. They're fucking just retarded. Okay, so I also saw some researchers theorize that this hypnagogia, this hypnagogic schizophrenic thinking may have been how our early ancestors thought like all the time. So this actually may be an early mode of thinking. Is that not cool as shit that if you're aware of the state as you're falling asleep, where you're getting all these weird images and you become completely absorbed in fantasy, you could literally be accessing a mode of thinking your early ancestors had, bro. Is that not the coolest fucking thing ever? But like, this was just a quick little like unstructured rant. I guess I'm kind of speaking quickly, but there's just so many things to do with sleep, and people don't realize it. They have so much control over their brain if they take advantage of these sleep states. And you don't need to be a fucking monk that goes in the mountains and like meditates. And you don't even need to learn how to lucid dream to access these states. It's if you literally fall asleep, and as you're falling asleep, have a little intention in the back of your head to just be aware of the process of sleeping, you will access these states much easier. And studies show that with hypnagogia, the more you pay attention to your hypnagogic imagery as you're going to sleep, the more you will receive. It's similar to dream recall in that regard, in that the more you dream journal, the more dreams you have every night, bro. So it's like, it's just like this really cool thing that I think most people overlook so much. And once you start reading about these sleep states, it's like kind of a never-ending rabbit hole as well. And so I'm really reading more on this because I want to like make a more in-depth thing on that, but I thought I should just tell you about that. And so there's just like so many fucking things you can use it for. And a lot of people use it for direction in their life because you can ask your...
All right, before he gets into that, I'm going to welcome Wavy to the show. But I also wanted to say this. I was watching something not too long ago. I came across a random video, which I love coming across random videos on YouTube that are very old. And it's such profound information that you try to see what's going on with this person. They haven't posted in goddamn 8 years, 10 years, and shit like that. This nigga could be dead. You feel me? But he left this information here for me. And somebody was speaking about programming your subconscious mind and making a supercomputer and using it in certain ways, right? And he said he was like in some rural house in like I think it was Ireland or England, one of the two. And he was looking for his septic system, and he couldn't find it. And he was like looking around, digging, finding all these different spots. He couldn't find it, right? So he says, when I went to sleep, I decided to ask my subconscious to help me be more intuitive the next day to find the septic system. So the next day, he's walking around like his like I guess you could say neighborhood. It's not really neighborhood. It's like farmhouses or rural type old school houses that are far from each other, you know? So he's walking around this area, and one of these houses that is like abandoned just like called him in a way to he should go check it out. So he goes over, he walks close to the house, and then boom, there's something sticking out the ground. And you can tell that it was the house's septic system. So he's like, all right, excuse me. He goes to the house, he sees how many paces, boom, 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 from there to there, boom, goes back to his spot, goes to the side of the house where he thinks the septic system is, walks, boom, 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 so many paces, boom, it's right there. What he's been looking for the whole time, you know? That's why I say I like to simplify things. All he did was ask his subconscious, like a regular person, to help him out. You feel me? That's all you have to do. You can ask your higher self just to help you out. And that also reminds me of people who have issues, like all of us do. Some might not like to admit it, with negative self-talk, inner mind chatter that makes no difference. You feel me? It's usually your trauma speaking to you. Something as simple, like you'll be taking a shower or something, and in your mind you'll be having an argument with somebody, or like even like your mother or something, like, you're gonna say this to me and I'm gonna say this to you. Like or it could be anybody. You feel me? You're having this nonsensical, irrational conversation, and you think it's you. It's not you. If you ever experience this, just ask it what it wants. Stop thinking, stop having the conversation in your mind and go, what do you want? Go away. And you'll feel this thing just go away. You feel me? It's very interesting. But most of us have been taught and trained to deny, to disregard these things. You feel me? And that goes along with the third part of the show, which is burn the Loosh farm. But we're not there yet. Before I continue, Wavy, would you like to add anything?
I just want to say what's up. Thank you for having me again. Yeah, this is a very interesting topic.
Well, you already know. You are the unofficial co-host, and anytime you would like to add, you are more than welcome to.
Yeah, I appreciate that always for sure. If I could just say one thing, I don't know because I kind of just tuned in the last like 10 minutes, so I don't know what you said prior to this, but dream. I don't know if we talked like I don't know if we touched on the topic of dream manifestation and stuff like that. I'll just say this, like I'm kind of an insomniac, so it's not like a rich. I don't want to say this is a ritual or this is necessary, but like what I do to one of the things I do to help me fall asleep is listen to YouTube videos, and or like music. I don't do the music thing so much because I know like music can be kind of demonic on a certain level, but I used to listen to like YouTube videos or music to kind of to help me fall asleep, and I've noticed that my subconscious mind will take what I'm listening to, and I actually had dreams where I've heard I've manifested what was being said in the audio that I was listening to, whether it be music or YouTube videos or whatever, and it actually resulted in some crazy dreams. I've also like dreamed when I was high off of off of shrooms and acid, which is actually kind of hard to do because for me personally, I can't sleep when I do those things. But when I do actually do those things, like my lucid dreams are way more intense, and my imagination is like on a different level. So I just want to. I guess I'm just trying to say like lucid dreaming is very real, and depending on what you do to harness that, you can have some really crazy dreams.
Yeah, that's why what you listen to before you go to sleep or what you're thinking is very important, because you can have some bullshit on and then you're going to program yourself once you enter that hypnagogic state, you know? So when you dream, that shit might manifest, or it's going to manifest in your dreams and manifest in your life the next fucking day or sometimes in the future. That's why I'm very like, I listen to bullshit like everybody else, but before I go to sleep, I'm very specific about what I listen to when I go to sleep. If it's nothing, I'm repeating something to myself before I go to sleep, and I try to repeat it until I don't remember falling asleep. You feel me? Or I'll play some Neville Goddard or something like that. So I'm getting these concepts into my mind, making it a part of myself. Or some binaural beats, something that just puts you in a weird space. You feel me? Because I did I injured my knee and shit, so I was taking some Dr. Christopher's Bone and Tissue, which is a herbal blend supplement that helps with cell proliferation and healing, whatever, for the bone and tissue. But this mix contains skullcap, and I think it has some maybe Damiana in it. And I was drinking some like sleepy time tea, and that also has some skullcap in it, and Damiana and some other type things that enhance your dreams. And I had some insane dreams, and I was still burning back then. So I'll just say be careful with those things, you know. But I'm gonna continue letting this play, and there's not much left on it, so we'll comment on it at the end.
Imagery. Say, for example, what should I do in my job? Should I get a new job? Blah, blah, blah. And your brain can a lot of the times give you these really deep, like symbolic answers to that. And think about people who have shit visualization as well. Maybe this is you, like you struggle to see things in your head. Use hypnagogic hallucinations or use hypnopompic hallucinations, bro. When you wake up from a dream, like tomorrow, when you wake up, stay in bed and kind of let your brain run wild. Let your brain remain in that half sleepy, dreaming state. You will realize you can visualize shit so easily. And there's some people who say they have aphantasia, so they can't visualize anything. But then they also, a lot of these people have like crystal clear visualization when they're waking up from a dream. So there's just so much like untapped, overlooked shit there to do with sleep. And it affects your waking state much more than people realize. And it's just hard as fuck, bro. Like, it's hard as fuck. And I know I maybe seem like I keep ranting about the same things on sleep, and that's all I talk about, but it's literally a never-ending rabbit hole. So I just want to talk about that, like, make an unstructured rant thing. On another note, I mentioned this in a post. This is kind of like an ad. This is kind of an ad. I made a school thing where I condensed.
All right, I don't need to know about your school course. Maybe if I feel like taking it, I will take it, because that's how I support creators that I enjoy. I'm never gonna drop any super chat, really. Maybe for somebody like Prince, you know Prince, but I'm never gonna drop a super chat or things like that anymore. I used to do it in the past sometimes just to tell a joke to make the whole chat laugh or make the host laugh or something like that. But that had a purpose behind it. It's never just to get attention. If I'm going to support a creator and I've been consuming your content, I'm going to find out something that you produce and I'm going to support that, even if I don't really do it. You feel me? Then I'm not gonna name, because I have before many times on the show. I'm not gonna name the different people who I have done this with and use their service, or people who I don't give a fuck about their service. But yeah, for those who don't know, I'll keep shouting this guy out. This is Tiger123. As you can see, he's I like this dude. He's speaking very intelligently, but he's also, you can tell he has no agenda. That's my favorite part about this guy. You can tell how freely he's speaking, that he has no agenda. The only agenda is to give you an understanding of what he thinks he understands. You know? So, like I said in the beginning of the show, this is going to be like a dream. We're just going to move around, talk about things, and if you get something out of it, you get something out of it, just like a dream. So let me stop sharing that for a second. I didn't mean to take it out of there. So Wavy, let me ask you this. Are you smoking weed right now?
Of course.
When's the last time you stopped smoking weed?
When's the last time I stopped smoking weed? I'm kind of a weird person when it comes to weed, but like on and off. Like, I'll have like short periods where like I don't smoke any. Like, I get hooked up with a bunch of free weed because I chill with growers and people like that. And like, basically, I just like the more weed I have. It's funny. The more weed I have, the less I smoke it. But I would say that the last time I really stopped smoking weed was probably like a year ago, maybe like early last year, just because I was trying to get on my shit and get another job and stay clean and stuff like that.
Did you notice your dreams intensify?
Not I mean, I think I had more frequent dreams, but it wasn't like intense, like all these crazy stuff happening. But I will say this, I know that when my dreams do intensify, it's usually because of my own imagination. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that like, oh yeah, when I stop smoking weed, I get better dreams. But I noticed that when I do get more, the more sober I am, the less, I mean, the more crazy my dreams tend to be. But not like crazy in the sense like, oh yeah, a bunch of stuff, but like it's more, I don't know, it's more vivid, I guess.
Yeah, so you don't notice at all when you're smoking heavily that your dreams are suppressed.
No, I mean I've always been a vivid dreamer. That's the thing with me. I've always kind of had like kind of wild dreams. I can't say that like my dreams got like my dreams get less intensified per se, but like I do think that like um I do think that I'm personally like the way I understand dreams, like I'll get more vivid dreams uh as I get older, and the more I think about my dreams. I don't need a substance. Like, I don't need to smoke like Blue Lotus, for example. I don't know if you know or fuck with that, but like Blue Lotus, for example, makes people dream crazy, and I used to smoke that too, to get like the purposely for of getting crazier dreams. But my dreams don't really get that much more crazier as I don't know. When I was younger, my dreams got crazier. My dreams were crazier. Now I'm just kind of like whatever. My dreams are kind of like whatever.
Yeah, Blue Lotus is cool. You know, I'm not really into smoking it. You know, I have made you can make a wine infusion. You can put it into wine and it'll go into the wine or whatever. But you want to smoke some shit to make your dreams crazy. That mugwort hit different.
Mudwort? What was it? Mudwort?
Mugwort.
Mugwort. Like MUGWORT.
Yeah, something along those lines. You know, Google will correct you.
Yeah.
You know, Google will correct you. But yeah, I don't want to get into this because maybe we shouldn't go back to back with the Tiger videos. I should return to him because you know the other part of this of the title we have, burn the Loosh farm. You know, and this was very interesting to me because people like to disregard things and everything's fake unless it fixes and here's another thing. If you're listening to the common thinker, what the average person is saying, if COVID didn't teach you not to listen to any of these dumb fucks on earth, I don't know what's ever going to teach you. So if you come in here and hear some of these subjects I talk about and you just disregard it, oh, this guy's crazy, he's talking about this or that, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, for real, this is not for you at all, because it's only going to get weirder. It's only going to get crazier. It's only going to get more fringe. You understand?
The only thing I will say to that is that I think that if there's anything that I've observed in the past few years is that and I hate to use this word because it's like super overused and very dismissive, but the word like normies, they are starting to come around to what fringe thinkers or people who study fringe science or conspiracy theorists, they're starting to come around to those to concepts that come from those types of minds. I'm not gonna say it's a majority of normies, quote unquote, but I do think that there is somewhat of an understanding or an awakening going on in the consciousness of the regular people, just because we lived, I think, post COVID, post pandemic, there's been a lot of surrealism that has come to life. Maybe I don't know if I'm wording that right, but I will say that that's just something I've noticed. I'm not saying that's like anything significant or anything.
I just feel like it's very performative. Like, I don't disagree with you, but I feel like a lot of these people who seem to be more open-minded, it's very performative, and it's mostly for attention. It's not for your own edification. It's not for your own expansion. And like I said, the best word I could say for it is like performative. Like, you'll see a lot more bad bitches on social media talking about very deep concepts, and to me, like, you're just parroting shit. It's not.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Bitch got her hair done, makeup up, titties pressed up in the camera heavy, and she just talking to me about goddamn 9/11. You feel
right,
me?
yeah.
I'm like, 9/11, what's that? Is that the titty song? Like, what the fuck you talking about? But then again, that could be my ego. Maybe I shouldn't dismiss these people, but
No, I definitely think that the level of surrealism has reached a point of like, okay, I'll look at it like this, right? Disagreeable. Like, I think like if when quote unquote normies get certain information or start regurgitating certain information that's been out for a while, right? You know things are on. The simulation is on another level, right? Because like they quote unquote have to kind of do things in chapters to where it's like, okay, if the average person is catching on to this chapter of the film or the play, then you know that we're on to the next chapter. If that makes sense.
It's like these same, like the best word I can use for it again is performative. It's like these same people who will act like now that it's been admitted, and now that you've decided to look at what the information was the day one of the COVID situation and the medical journal and all this shit. Now you know these people in your family whose goddamn legs stopped working, and all mad people who died not from goddamn COVID but from getting this stupid shot. Now they're all weird and shit. Now you want to be like, hey, yeah, I know this and I was. People might say that shit out of their mouths, but I can look at these people and tell that if it comes back around, you're gonna do the exact same thing again. You feel me? You're gonna do the exact same thing again. You're not gonna change at all. It's gonna be the same pointing the finger at the free thinker. You feel me? Even though you're pretending to be the free thinker at this time. And what we're talking about right now, since we're talking about people who are seen as like schizos and shit like that, and you know the term tinfoil hat. You know, they just put that on people.
I used to hate that term, by the way. Good. I used to hate that term, tinfoil hatter. I know it was purposely created to dismiss people who are free thinkers and aware of stuff, but like that term used to irk me so bad because that was a term that was put on upon people who are of the know.
Do you know the origin and why it was demonized?
No, not specifically. No.
All right, so I'll share this, and it was demonized because it's effective, and I'm not endorsing this guy. I think he's an agent, but if you don't get caught up, if you don't get lost in his sauce, pause. You feel me? He drops good things for you to go research on your own time. Don't follow this fucking ass. All right. So let me pull him up here. My bad.
Because of a man the CIA mutilated by putting a brain chip in his head. And because he was a smart guy, his name was Leonard Kyle, Kiles. Leonard Kyle, sorry, no S.
Kile.
Jose Delgado or whatever the fuck. Carlos Delgado.
Yeah.
And the book The Terminal Man by Michael Crichton, it doesn't say this in the Wikipedia though. The Terminal Man is based on what they did to this poor fucker. He had patents on Kodak shit. And he was like jealous. He was overly jealous of his girlfriend and went to therapy. And unfortunately for him, his psychiatrist was Carlos Delgado, the fucking. And if you go on Andy Hunt's channel, Control All History, they got great the bowl where they make the bowl not attack with microwaves.
Yeah.
So the guy is smart, so he knows someone's hitting him with microwaves at some point in the loony bin where he is. So he's putting a trash can on his head, a metal trash can.
Holy shit! They
started giving him a foil to wrap around his head instead. Because it eased the pain of what the CIA did to him. The biggest piece of shit, evil organization coven that's ever existed. A coven of scum and witches. And they really are vile. And to call somebody tinfoil hat as a joke after what they did to this poor guy. Right? Is that wild what they do? That's magic. That's Disney magic.
So yes, that's the origins. You feel me? Somebody who they experimented on and fucked over and tortured so much, but he just happened to be intelligent. And even in his psychosis, he realized how he could give himself a bit of relief. And that was by blocking these signals. And it was effective. So they need to demonize it in case it got out there to be effective. Because if you knew that these people were actually shooting you with radio waves or whatever the fuck they're doing, or directed energy, whatever the fuck they're doing, everybody would probably just wear a tinfoil hat. And nowadays you don't need a tinfoil hat. You probably need a Fermi hat. Like if I didn't have dreads, I'd probably be rocking a Fermi baseball cap all the time. Well, is it because I'm being attacked? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think so. But I'm not being attacked. Maybe, let me say this: I'm not being attacked more than anybody else is being attacked. But it's just for your own peace. Maybe everybody's being bombarded. You saw all these 5G towers go up everywhere, right? Think that was for fucking nothing? Did your phone get better? Did your phone get better? People are fucking ridiculous. But yeah, I'm not. I didn't watch all this. I'm not gonna watch all of it right now or play too much of it. It's just something very interesting to keep in your mind and to think about. That anything that has been demonized by the media is for a specific reason, and if it's been demonized by the mass media, you need to research it and look into it a bit because it's probably for your benefit. If the small hat media is demonizing it and well, what's the other word I would use besides demonizing? Degrading is a good one, but this pushing you to disregard certain things. If the media is pushing you to disregard certain things, you need to look into that more than the other shit. All the other shit that they're giving you praise for and clapping for you for remembering and telling you you're intelligent because you know this and that. You're actually a dumb fuck for knowing this and that. You feel me? You're actually a programmed dumbass for knowing this and that. But I digress. Let's see if we get something else up here. Like I said in the beginning of the show, if you need constant angle cuts and you need constant speaking, you're not into long form content, this bores you. You need me to be speaking of some tribe online, some group of people who you get to be this tribe and they get to be that tribe, and you make fun of that other tribe. This is not the place for you. This is not the place for you. You feel me? I don't give a fuck what anybody else is doing. You're all beneath me. You're all beneath me. That might be my ego speaking, but I have documentation to say I'm top 12% on the planet. Shout out to my prop firm. Shout out to my prop firm exams and my funded accounts. You feel me? Documented. But let's move on. Like I said, this will be like a dream. La 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 la. This will be like a dream. You feel me? Roll, roll, roll your boat gently across YouTube. Merrily, 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 merrily. I might see some boobs. All right. Give me a second. I was gonna go into the glowing eyes at the Russian elite party, but we won't go there just yet. We'll go into the mental models. You know, I'm gonna read this book. I have it on the way. So let's just, and I haven't watched this yet. Let me get this. Let me pull this up. Add to the screen. Oh, this guy, he's always saying he's better than everybody. Up your game, dog. Up your game. Because I go around different channels, and I'm not saying like some things can't be entertaining. Here's what I'd like to say. Could it be like, oh, you only consume content that you consider as high level? No, but I don't consume any middle content. Meaning, either we're going all the way to outer space with it, or I'm all the way in the ground, in the dirt, in the mud with it. I'm either listening to very informative, high level content, or I'm consuming straight ridiculous nonsense. Nonsense. You feel me? Hilarious shit. There is no. I hate the in between. The in between is where you find all the bullshit, where people are fun and like they're trying to help you, like they're trying to be a. It's where you get all, like I said earlier, shit that I hate, all the performative shit. Niggas are a performative pro man. Niggas are performative pro woman. You feel me? It's like a nigga like Ty City. It's like a faggot like that you're gonna talk all this shit, say you're about men, make fun of just pearly things and all this shit when you're actually worse than the bitch. You worse than the bitch. You feel me? You're like a feminist that has a high power paying job that says she never lets anybody degrade her and to do whatever, but then she gets around a nigga like me when she leaves her law office or whatever. She gets around a nigga like me and she just wants to be tied up and dressed up in anime costumes that I put her in and be slapped around and spit on and all that shit. I'm probably not satisfying her enough. She probably needs nastier niggas that like to piss on bitches and shit. I haven't gone that far yet. You feel me? But that's where you find the lies. You find the lies in the middle. You find the lies in the compromise. That's where it gets convoluted. That's where the horrible self-image is. That's where the I don't want to keep saying the same word, but it's just a performance. And it is the performative shit. It isn't the actors, the actresses. And if you look into history back in the days, actors and actresses weren't seen as good people. They were seen as pieces of shit, high level liars. You feel me? But let's go right here with it because this was interesting. Damn, did I say the other one? Fuck, I need both examples to make this make sense. And I think I only saved. Damn. All right, so this one's not gonna make sense how I wanted it to because I needed both examples for it to make sense. Shit. All right, let me damn, I don't even want niggas to know what I watch later. Get out of here. Oh yeah, we were planning to go here anyway. So let's get into the great mental models. Shane Parrish. I got this book on the way.
I recently read The Great Mental Models by Shane Parrish. Author Shane Parrish says, in life and business, the person with the fewest blind spots wins. After reading The Great Mental Models, I've started considering what I call the 3 what-ifs while making big decisions and solving hard problems. The IFS and what-ifs are 3 thinking methods, better known as mental models, that help reveal blind spots and uncover creative solutions to problems. The I in what-ifs stands for inversion. When you're having trouble solving a problem, try solving the opposite problem first. Instead of asking, how can I make a really good video? Ask, how can I make a really bad video? And instead of asking, how can I be more productive today? Ask, how can I be as unproductive as possible today? Once you've generated a list of ideas, invert them. When I consider how to make a really bad video, I think of using PowerPoint slides with no images or examples. I think of using a monotone voice that will put my audience to sleep. And I think of making the video much longer than it needs to be. When I invert those ideas, I think of making a video with minimal text and plenty of colorful examples. I think of using lots of vocal variety and making the video as short as possible. When I wonder how I can be as unproductive as possible today, I think of sleeping till noon, eating a big stack of pancakes for breakfast that leaves me feeling lethargic, and responding to emails all day. By inverting those ideas, I can plan a highly productive day. That is, I'll wake up at 5 a.m., fast till noon so I can focus better, and only check my email after completing my most important task for the day. Solving opposite problems or deliberately coming up with bad ideas is fun, and it typically gets your creative juices going. Plus, bad ideas are surprisingly valuable once you invert them. The next time you feel pressured to come up with a brilliant solution, use the mental model of inversion. As Shane Parrish says, avoiding stupidity is easier than seeking brilliance.
That is that fire. That is a quote that got me to buy the book. That's a quote that got me to buy the book. Avoiding stupidity Avoiding stupidity is easier than seeking brilliance.
The F in what ifs stands for first principles thinking. Elon Musk had a problem. He wanted to go to Mars, but acquiring a rocket to get to Mars was simply
Oh, this nigga. You feel me? No, don't worry about this nigga and Mars and all this shit. Let's just get the concept.
too expensive. So Musk asked himself, what is a rocket made of? Well, aerospace grade aluminum alloys, plus some titanium, copper, and carbon fiber. Then he wondered, what is the value of those materials on the commodity market? After some research, Musk discovered that the materials made up roughly 2% of a typical rocket price. After a simple examination of the underlying components, Musk saw an opportunity to create a better solution to his rocket to Mars problem. Years later, SpaceX was born. Most people assume existing solutions exist for a good reason and never question them. First principle thinkers don't take existing solutions at face value. They drill down to understand why a solution works. A few decades ago, a group of food researchers liked the taste of meat, but didn't like the idea of harming animals to get their meat. After some first principles thinking, they realized that the fundamental components of great tasting meat was simply a collection of amino acids and sugar.
All right, this is like I said, I freestyle these shows. I don't preview these videos and try to set them up and have little notes here to appear intelligent to people who don't need me. I don't need to appear intelligent to. And I'm not liking this video. I don't give a fuck about Elon Musk. I don't think 3D printing.
No animal.
My bad. And I don't think 3D printing meat is a good idea. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm not going to keep watching this video. Fuck this guy. But the concepts in the book are very good. I thought he was just going to get directly to the concepts and not try to give me his examples. Your examples are shit to me, bro. Your examples are shit to me. I don't like your little Fiverr hired AI draw video with this little white man's hand. I don't like it. You feel me? So we're going to move on from this. We're going to move on from this. Like I said, the show will be very free flowing, and I'll take this shit right back to. I'll take this shit right back to Tiger 123, and then we'll get more into the Loosh farm concept. Let's just go to your. I know your most popular is Lucid Dream joint, so let's go straight there. Popular. You know, his latest one was very good too. Lucid Dreaming, Master Key, Dream Control. That was very interesting. But let's go to popular. Boom, commercial, no commercial.
So what?
Let's go.
Stands for Awake Initiated Lucid Dream, and this is basically when you just enter straight into a lucid dream from the waking state. So you'll just lay down on your bed and just fall asleep and you'll enter straight into a lucid dream, right? Where most lucid dreaming techniques are more like you're already in a dream, you're in a normal dream and you realize something's off, or you just gain awareness in a normal dream and then become lucid. A wild is different because you literally just fall asleep and essentially enter straight into a lucid dream, because you've like retained some awareness as you're falling asleep. This technique is actually extremely effective. I think when I was using Wild every day or every night and I was like try-harding it, it actually got me my highest amount of lucid dreams. I think I got like 28 lucid dreams in a month. So 28 lucid dreams in a month just from doing Wild every night. And I would honestly say it's much easier than any other technique I've done. So I'm not going to waste your time. I'll just like fucking tell you how to do it. But before I tell you how to do the technique, I will say that most people that explain Wild are explaining it wrong. If I do say so myself, I will say most people are just like saying some like weird shitty version that normally just keeps people awake, or it just makes people have to try hard Wild for like a month and they get nowhere with it because people are just fucking explaining it wrong. So just hear me out the whole time and I'll explain how to do it. I'll explain everything you need to know, and it probably should be getting you some lucid dreams very soon if you just follow exactly what I do. So all it is, as I said, falling asleep while retaining awareness. You're just going to fall asleep normally while retaining some awareness. And I will say to do Wild, I will say to do this technique that you need to do awake back to bed, which is waking up 4 to 6 hours after sleep, doing the technique, and then falling back asleep. But hear me out. The wake back to bed is not going to fuck up your sleep, and you don't have to use an alarm. All you need to do to wake up 4 to 6 hours after sleep, literally just tell yourself you will wake up at a certain time. If like 4 a.m. is 4 to 6 hours after your sleep, before you go to bed, just literally say to yourself, I will wake up at 4 a.m. I'll wake up at 4 a.m. Because your brain has like an internal clock and it can tell the time, and it'll remember your intention to wake up at a certain time, and then you'll wake up at that time. If you don't believe me, just fucking do it tonight anyways, even if you don't care about the technique. And if that doesn't work, then you can also drink like a shit ton of water, and then you'll need to wake up in the middle of the night to piss and go to the bathroom. And that's the wake back to bed right there. And the reason you need to do this is because 4 to 6 hours after sleep, it's a whole fucking science thing, bro. Basically, 4 to 6 hours after sleep is when you're having your most vivid and your longest dreams. And so with Wild, we need to enter straight into the lucid dream. You need to just fall asleep and enter straight into the dream. If you try to do this when you're first going to bed, it won't really work, because when you first go to bed, you're not really having dreams at all, or the dreams you're having are kind of shit. They're not that vivid. So if you wake up 4 to 6 hours after sleep and then do the technique, you'll basically be going straight into a dream if you do it correctly. And when you wake up 4 to 6 hours after sleep, bro, you don't have to like fucking stay up for 1 hour. You don't have to stay awake for 1 hour, 4 to 6 hours after sleep. Literally just wake up and like if you need to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom, and then just lay down and get ready to do the technique, get ready to do wild. And once you've laid down, you need to fall asleep while retaining some awareness. And you retain some awareness by focusing on what's called an anchor. And all an anchor is just something you put some attention, you just like, it's just something you pay some attention to while you're falling asleep. So it can literally be anything. It can be like your breathing, for example, or like counting in your head, or it can just be like the sound of your fan or some shit like that. Or it can be like the feeling of your covers on your body. It's literally like an anchor is you just pay attention to your breathing, for example, and fall asleep normally while retaining some awareness on that. For me, when I did wild a ton every night, I was focusing on the words "I am dreaming" in my head. So I would kind of like repeat the words "I am dreaming" in my head. And then as you're like focusing on this anchor, you're just falling asleep normally. And here's where most people fuck up the technique, bro, completely. This is the stage where people completely mess up and they'll keep themselves awake for like 1 hour, or they'll never fall asleep, or they'll never get a lucid dream because they just fuck up. Most people put way too much attention onto their anchor. So say you're focusing on your breathing as you're falling asleep, or you're focusing on your counting. Most people are told to like completely 100% focus on this and like fall asleep. Most people are told to like try and enter a lucid dream without even fucking falling asleep, bro. If you watch or read any popular wild tutorial, these guys are talking about, oh, stay still, stay completely still. You need to fall asleep 100% consciously. You need to enter sleep paralysis. You need to keep focusing on your breath. Don't fall asleep.
And what he's talking about, how people get way too deep into it. I think that the whitey man, the Caucasian, the Edomite, the grafted Yakubian seed, you feel me? The devil, you feel me? He might have a harder time. He might have to do that. You feel me? And this guy, as you can see, he's not fully white. I don't even know if he's white at all because he says he's black. He can't understand this because he's just concentrating on himself, as he should be. But I just want to add this. Some of the most interesting experiences I have was when I had one of my places in South Florida, North Miami. I was often taking low doses of psilocybin, and I just lay down with my eyes closed and just think. And one time, this happened multiple times, that's how I know it was real, but I was just laying there thinking, you feel me, enjoying my thoughts, enjoying my inner self, pause. And at some point, while I'm just thinking, I could hear somebody snoring. And I live by myself. So I'm like, who the fuck can I hear snoring? Like, what? But I'm still enjoying just chilling there, thinking to myself. And at some point, I'm like, yo, who the fuck's snoring? I'm gonna get up and go look around and see what the fuck is going on. And when I go to get up, I realize I didn't just get up. I had to wake up to get up. You feel me? Think of the implications of this. Because everybody knows you can experience time dilation in your sleep. So if you can maintain linear thought into this dream state, that means you can work within a time dilated world. What can you do within this world? Whatever the fuck you want. Maybe practice a skill, learn a new skill, go to school. You feel me? Maybe I can go to sleep and I can do 5 years of school. You feel me? I could do 3 years of study and wake up the next day because time is an illusion, and I can experience that time dilation while I'm sleeping. You feel me? And it's very similar. You know, people like to go to extremes. I've never been like that with anything. Anything I really dealt with like low dose for the most part. I definitely had high dose, so-called heroic dose experiences. But it reminds me of what you guys can look this up by yourself. Maybe I'll pull it up, maybe not. But it reminds me of this guy named Kalindi. He was like a black kung fu guy. You feel me? But he got heavy into the mushrooms. And he got heavy to where he would like take 30 grams, you feel me? 2 ounces. You feel me? Because here's the thing about the all drugs or substances have a LD50, meaning if you take this amount, you have a 50 cent, meaning you have a 50% chance of dying. You feel me? The LD50 for the psilocybin mushroom is so high that you can't get that much mushroom into your body. Understand that? So understanding certain things when you're dealing with psychedelics, meaning like it cannot kill me, this will stop, so I don't need to drive myself into psychosis, even if I think, oh, it's been lasting so long. No, it's gonna end. So it kind of removes these worries from you. That's why people like Terrence McKenna would say things like, as he would take his 5 to 7 grams, he'd eat the 5 to 7 grams on an empty stomach, and he'd sit there and he'd roll joints back to back. He'd keep rolling joints until it hit him. And during this time of rolling the joints, he would do what he would call an examination of self. And in this examination of self, you shit on yourself the whole time. You look at all your negative aspects. Oh, I did this. I lied to this person. You feel me? I didn't call my mom back. I didn't do this. I yelled at this person. You feel me? I did this. I did that. You do the full examination of self. So by the time the mushroom appears, you're fully in that state, the psychedelic state, it looks at you like, oh yeah, I don't got to kick this guy's ass. He already kicked his own ass. Let's go deeper. Let's go further. You feel me? And what I kind of digressed, but what Kalindi was talking about was in these altered states, him and the other people who were doing these things around the world, total like different continents away from each other, they would do these things at certain times together, and then they would be able to enter these altered states. And from if you go by his accounts, he said that they'd be entering these altered states, they'd all take a giant dose of mushrooms, and they'd have schools and worlds that they built already. And they go to these schools and go to these worlds, and they'd be there for the duration of the psilocybin experience. But the time dilation would be like you were there for years. You feel me? And this has been spoken of using other substances, like a very interesting one that people talk about, Datura. I've had some Datura. I don't recommend it. Don't recommend it. You feel me? The only reason I had it is because I wasn't as informed as I am now, and it was part of a chaga blend. If you don't know what chaga is, or excuse me, changa is a better way to say it. Chaga is a mushroom. Changa is the DMT mix. You know, you have a little DMT, you have some harmine, you have some macho tobacco, you have some mint, you have some passion flower, and among other things, some datura. You feel me? You make your different blends to get your, but that's high level shit. You niggas don't need to go mess with that shit at all. At all. But he was saying they would take these high level things, experience time dilation, and go to these different schools and be doing whatever the fuck they do over there. And I digress for something I wanted to say. Oh yeah, the other thing that helps people experience the time dilation is, why is it slipping my mind right now? Why is it slipping my mind? It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Unless you want to comment, Wavy, I'm going to continue playing the Dude Tiger. Wavy's working. Tiger, take over.
It's the most retarded shit ever, bro. How can you enter a lucid dream if you can't enter a dream? And how can you enter a dream if you can't fall asleep? So when I say you need to put some attention on an anchor, like you're breathing or you're counting or telling yourself, I am dreaming, whatever your anchor is, you need to only retain some awareness on that. And what
it's crazy that you can do a video on your phone where your phone is falling and have hundreds of thousands of views on it. This shows you that you need to just do what the fuck you're doing and stop trying to get ready to do what you're doing. A lot of people try to keep getting ready. You know what? I need this type of special game chair to sit in, and I need this mic, and I need this, I need that. You don't need shit. You need to stop being a bitch. You feel me? Let's go.
And what I mean by that is, if you have two options, either focus 100% on your anchor and fucking keep yourself awake, or fall asleep normally, always go to the side of just falling asleep normally. And I know you're probably thinking, but like, you told me I would enter straight into a lucid dream, right? You told me I would just go straight into a lucid dream from focusing on my anchor. How can I do that if I fall asleep normally? The thing is, the thing is, there's a chance you could enter into a dream 100% consciously. I've done this before. It's kind of like fucking teleporting into a lucid dream. You close your eyes, you fall asleep, you open your eyes, and you're like on a beach or some shit. That actually happened to me once. So you can 100% do that, but it's very fucking difficult and requires a lot of concentration. Because if you think about that, you're trying to fall asleep while keeping 100% conscious, and you kind of have to lose consciousness to fall asleep properly. And so this is where most people fuck up. They try to do that method of staying 100% aware and falling asleep with 100% consciousness. But the better way to do it, that in the long term will probably get you more lucid dreams, the better way to do it is just fall asleep normally while retaining some awareness. And what I mean by that is focus on your anchor, right? Fall asleep, focus on your anchor. But if you find yourself falling asleep and losing consciousness, fucking let it happen, bro. Do not try and keep yourself awake with the anchor. And that probably sounds retarded because like you're meant to be entering straight into a lucid dream, right? But hear me out. When you fall asleep, when you enter a dream and you just fall asleep normally while focusing on your anchor, even if you end up in a normal dream, even if you didn't enter straight into a lucid dream, you will still have raised awareness in the dream from the focus you put on your anchor, the little focus you put on your anchor as you fell asleep. So even if you don't enter straight into a lucid dream, even if you end up in a normal lucid dream where you're walking around or you're having some boring day at school or some shit, there's still a very high chance that you'll stop and realize you're dreaming like you would a normal lucid dream. And that's because you just entered the dream and you fell asleep normally while retaining some awareness on the anchor. The key word is fucking retaining, bro. Retaining is just paying like a little amount of attention on the anchor. I know I keep repeating myself, right? But I'm trying to stress this. Like, most people really fuck up with wild because they think as I said, they think they need to fall asleep 100% consciously. Do not do that. Just retain some awareness on your anchor, fall asleep normally. Always focus on falling asleep. And if you can't do this, it may be good to practice using your anchor when you first go to bed normally. As I said, this like isn't going to get you lucid when you first do wild before bed initially, but it can still be good practice at like falling asleep and losing consciousness while retaining some awareness on your anchor. So that's,
excuse me, like this is him trying to supercharge and fly into full lucid state instantly, you know? And I don't know how important or effective that is, but I forgot what WILD stands for. I don't really care. When I was practicing lucid dreaming, one of the techniques that worked for me, and this helped, and things get very weird, is you fall asleep with your hand clutched as if you're holding on to a pebble or a stone. You feel me? So I guess that was my anchor. I just had my hand as if I was holding a small rock in there. And then once you get into the dream state and you become aware of your lucid state, you open your hand, you see the rock, and you put it down. And then every time you enter the dream state, you keep putting these rocks down, and you'll notice that you'll have a pile of rocks after a while. For me, what was weird is I didn't have a pile of rocks. I just had, like, the rock got bigger. You feel me? So I'd have the same size pebble in my hand. I go into the dream, and it went from being that one same pebble I put down, and then every time I went back to the dream, there'd be a larger rock there. So I just put my rock there next to the other rock until there was a fucking boulder. You feel me? And let me just mention this. And here's the thing about life. There's so many things that you know that you should just do that would benefit you that you don't do. You feel me? Like working out, reading more, being up at a certain time, when trading, following your trading rules, following your trading plan. And I know through my own practice and experience that my life seemed much smoother and more lubricated, my waking life, when I was practicing lucid dreaming. But I just stopped doing it. You feel me? And that's one of the most interesting things to me. That's something I like to examine, looking at myself, like, why are you not doing what you should do? It is not even that difficult And when you actually do it, you feel better. It's very interesting. It's like, are you in your own way? Or is this reality that we're in designed to get in your own way, or to destroy your confidence and your self-image to the point where you think you have no way, that there is no way, and you're looking for the way outside of yourself when the way is within you. Just like the Last Dragon, you feel me? Niggas run around everywhere searching for the master. Nigga, you are the master.
That's essentially all Wild is. That's all a wake initiated lucid dream is. You wake up 4 to 6 hours after sleep. You don't have to use an alarm because an alarm's fucking annoying. Just tell yourself you'll wake up at a certain time and you will, because your brain's very smart, bro. Your brain is very intelligent. And then once you're awake, don't fucking walk around. Just lay back down and just fall asleep while focusing on an anchor. And a lot of the time, like, everyone will have a different anchor, so that may take like a few nights of experimentation to find an anchor that works. If you have no ideas, just like tell yourself in your head, I am dreaming. Use that as an anchor, or just focus on your breathing, or like count to 100 in your head. But always fall asleep in the end, and you'll have a very, very, very high chance of having a lucid dream. Now, of course, if you want to make this more effective and have a even higher chance of becoming lucid, you should work on your dream recall, which is your ability to remember dreams. Because when you have better dream recall and you're remembering several dreams a night, then you'll just be much more likely to realize you're dreaming in one. Because a lot of the times you'll have a lucid dream and not even fucking remember you had a lucid dream. So to do that, just start dream journaling every day. You know what? I'll link a whole fucking video on dream journaling. I made a whole other video on that. Sorry that I'm just kind of yapping. Hopefully this technique makes sense to you. If it doesn't, just like leave me a comment. I'll reply to it. Because apparently my YouTube comments is just like a lucid dreaming fucking helpline now. That's all my that's all my comments are. So if you need like personal help, like private one-on-one help, I have a link in the description if you want to do like a call. You know, fuck that. Just join the Discord. Join the Discord in the description. Don't even fucking buy that thing. Or just, yeah, leave me a comment. I'll respond to it. I hope that helped.
Well, once again, this is Tiger123. Check out his channel. Use his resources. You feel me? Let's get this down for a second. Get this down, you know. Wavy's probably in a lucid dream right now. He's out of here. Let's see. Let's go here with it. Since we're just flowing right now, we're just flowing. This is interesting to me. Either I forgot seeing this or I have never seen it before. And this is some of the most profound evidence I've seen. Now, check it out. Let's get this back on the screen. Check it out. Wavy, are you there? Contacting Wavy. Wavy, this is your subconscious. If you're not dreaming, begin to dream. Now, I command you. And you'll be fully aware of your dreams. And in this dream, you will destroy any negative self-imagery you may have. I command it. All right, so see, a couple people have been coming in and out, and a couple people are still watching, so we'll just get into this. Has anybody ever seen this? This picture is taken on a mobile phone. Concert of Russian singer Sergei Shnurov and Ruby and Ruble, the group, right? So this is somebody's cell phone from, what year did this happen? This is mad years ago, bro. This is early cell phone camera type shit. So we'll just get into it. Is this in Russian? Let's go.
Съемки на мобильный телефон концерта Сергея Шнурова и группы «Рубль» в элитном поселке Горки-3. В разгар выступления в банкетном зале...
I'll read it since it's in Russian. In the midst of appearances in the banquet hall, of a sudden, I guess he's directly translating the Russian, so it's going to sound weird. In the midst of appearances in the banquet hall, so performances in the banquet hall, the lights went out. So the lights went out suddenly.
Вдруг погас свет. Камера зафиксировала этот момент.
The camera recorded the moment. You guys caught that, right? That's not interesting to you? Actually gave me a bit of chills right there, and I've seen it before. This, if somebody has a counterpoint to this, I'd like to hear it, you know? And it's interesting that the people in the crowd who are, and this party that they're at is like a Russian oligarch type shit. Billionaires, the ultra rich, and their little lap dogs. You feel me? So when you see this go down, and it's like, it didn't just stay, the eyes didn't just stay glowing, they're glowing, and the people either knew to close their eyes or they knew to shut that shit off. You know what I'm saying?
Выступление, на самом деле, как выступление, но что-то случилось со светом в прекрасный момент, просто погас. Почему-то у большинства людей, которые были в зале, а там были люди совершенно, серьезные.
You know, let me translate the Russian for you. So, Russian singer, this is him that's talking right now, the singer. Russian singer heard all the lights just went out for some reason. The majority of people who were in the hall.
Были в зале, а там были люди совершенно.
And there were serious and well-known people there. When a Russian person says serious, they mean gangsters, oligarchs, the ultra rich. You feel me? And well-known people. They began to glow eyes, or their eyes began to glow.
Такого серьезного полета. Стали светиться глаза. Барабанщик у нас... The drummer actually dropped his sticks when he saw it. Выронил палочки и больше...
And the more we did not play the songs after that, it was like fucking scary. So was that sound, the drummer dropping his sticks on the drums? That's interesting. Hold up. Let's hear that.
Барабанщик у нас, собственно, выронил палочки, и больше мы песен не играли. Было пи***ц как страшно, поэтому мы съебались оттуда даже я и не...
So we ran away from there and crap. And I do not remember how we were at home. So he says he ran, and he doesn't remember how he got home.
Не помню, как мы дома оказались.
А кто эти люди были? Можешь назвать фамилии?
Да чего ты? Ага.
The Russians don't play with that shit. Listen, look what he said. Who were these people? You can name names?
Можешь назвать фамилии?
Да чего ты?
He said, "Are you serious? No, of course. There is no cannot." So this is direct Russian translation, so it's not making sense. So he's saying, "Are you serious? No, of course I can't." What the fuck? Fuck is wrong with you? It's Russian, nigga. Doctor tells me. I don't need this little artistic rendition or whatever. Is there somebody else talking about it from the party? Voiceover. Supermodel Natalia Vadinova was also at the event. She still remembers it with horror.
Но тоже оказалась на том мероприятии. Она до сих пор вспоминает об этом с ужасом.
Awful, scary because the lights went out and suddenly those eyes glowing.
Страшно, потому что свет погас, и вдруг эти глаза светящиеся. И потом объяснили, что это какой-то эффект.
And then explain that it was some effect of stem cells.
Stem cells.
Well, I do not know exactly how. Yes, stem cells, so it's called. So I guess they tried to tell the dumb model that, oh yeah, that's just some stem cell shit. Don't worry about it.
Я
были люди совершенно...
And this is the singer, Sergei Shnorov, again. And there were very serious and well-known people. He's saying the same thing, their eyes began to glow.
такого серьезного полета.
А кто эти люди были? Можешь назвать фамилии?
Да чего ты? Ага.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. And when something I like to remark on about that is that we have all these conversations and debates going on, people in their little idealistic animal farms. You feel me? Their dichotomies. Oh, I believe this. Oh, you're this. Oh, black and white. Black and white. FBA tether. Men and women at war. Everybody's at war. And all this war that we're at is feeding these things, you know? The real antagonist, you feel me, is out of this world. And that doesn't mean from space, it just means from maybe another dimension. But the real thing that we're dealing with here on this earth is not human. You feel me? And once people understand that, maybe they can get on the right track, you know? Because I'm not saying that we don't have differences and we don't have any reason to beef with each other. I'm just saying that shit gets kind of weird. It's kind of shaky. And yeah, anybody in the chat can see that link is in description. You feel me? So yeah, we'll keep moving around. I wish I saved the other clip because I had two clips of a news reporter and them glitching out at two different times, and I need both of them to make my point fully. Because if you just play one at one time, the other one just seems without the other one, it just seems like, oh yeah, that was an artifact, that was this or that, whatever fucking excuses people try to make. Motherfuckers watch TV their whole life, and then as soon as they see something out of the norm, like you never seen it before. You don't see that on the regular. It's not a glitch you see, but soon as somebody isolates something for you and they try to show it to you, then that becomes something that you're putting some deep examination on. Now you're like, oh yeah, no, that's just this, you know. When you trust me, I was an audio visual in high school. I know, nigga, shut the fuck up, man. Just a fucking normie-minded person that just can't. You just love your slavery, dog. You just love the prison planet. You feel me? You just love the prison planet. And let's see, like I said, we're just flowing around this one. So maybe I'll let this play because I saved this because I've heard people mention this multiple times, and I need a greater understanding of what this Grabovo, or however the fuck you say it, numbers. I need a greater understanding of what that is, and why not watch it with the audience? Why not? Give me a second. And I know these mystical niggas can be off-putting. Even now that I just opened this right now, it's kind of off-putting to me. I don't like how he has a bookshelf wallpaper. Nigga, get a bookshelf and put real books back there. Let me get this on the screen. But maybe he'll give us a good understanding. He won't try to give me some overly and other. Yeah, that's too long. Yeah, let's get it up. Does anybody know what these are? Grabovi numbers. That's how you say it. Grabovoi. Let's see what he's talking about.
Peace to the YouTube family. Peace to the TP family. And peace to the Watchateri Thunder Nation. Peace. I hope everyone is doing well out there. And for all you who don't know, this is nothing bad. This is just our nation seal right here. It's how we represent ourselves. energetically, the Thunder Nation. This is the Thunder Seal. All right. For all you who don't know. So this is your brother Yosef, also known as Chief Nawadiyawi. I am back with another video. And today, family, we're going to be talking about Grabavoid numbers. Today, we're going to be talking about Grabavoid numbers. All right. Now, this video came by way. It's actually been a request for like a year and a half now, and I totally forgot. All right. And what happened was there was a sister about 2 months ago who asked me, have I ever heard of Grabavoid numbers? Now, I've studied this information a while ago, and I just never thought about doing a video on it, right? And when the sister brought it up, I said, wow, I said it might be time to do a video on this stuff because somebody asked me that. About two or 3 weeks later, a friend of mine, close friend of mine from Philly, contacted me and said, hey, you know, she has a health thing going on. And she says, hey, I was using the Grabavoid numbers and I can feel the change, right? Like I can feel like something happening. Okay. Feathers up, family, feathers up. She's like, I can feel something happening. And I said, okay, yeah, Grabavoid numbers, they really work, right? They really work. So we're going to talk about that today, family. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go over that, all right? So let me just give y'all some updates, all right? Let me give y'all some updates. So first of all, I want to say thank you and welcome to everyone who's coming into the Watatiri Nation, coming to us through the TP website, Watatiri Nation. Our numbers are growing very quickly.
I'm going to let this play to see if he gets to the point, but while it's playing right now, I'm looking for a more concise explanation, understanding of this Grabavoid. That's how he said it. I want somebody to get right to the point, so just give me a second.
People are signing up, but everyone isn't completing their work, meaning that I want you guys to finish everything up so we can get y'all them ID cards, right? I want y'all to finish that up so we can get y'all them ID cards and y'all can be super, super official. So some people will go halfway through the process. Some people didn't start the process, but we want you guys to do that, right? So we could be Watatiri all over the country and eventually all over the world because we do have international people joining. So we want y'all to do it. Now, if I was a different type of person, I'd just say, hey, y'all paid y'all stuff. I don't care. I'm not the type of person, right? I'm really about nation building. And I want all my people who have signed up and they have access to the video.
Hold on. All these videos are long as hell. Give me a second. Let's just pull this up, Let's share this tab instead. Let's go.
I found these Grabavoid codes. They're out there everywhere. They're on TikTok. They're all over YouTube. I thought they were kind of fascinating because I felt like the numbers are a way to shortcut the things that you desire. Say you want the 10 grand, where you come up with a number, numerical code, and just repeat them over and over again and thank the universe for this number. It is a way of bypassing your own resistance. I found these
Okay, so are you just diffusing the responsibility to these numbers when you're actually the source of this energy? And you believing that these numbers are doing something is really what makes something happen. It's actually you making it happen. But I would like to get a greater understanding. Does somebody explain this better? Because they're all these long ass videos with codes and people talking about money and shit. I don't give a fuck about money. All I pray for is more discipline. I'll get the rest out the market. How I manifested $5,000 in 24 hours using Grabavoid numbers. I don't give a fuck if you the 5,000 punk ass dollars. Shit's not even real. $5,000. Shit sounds gay. You feel me? Oh, I said numbers until I got money. Did you get any greater understanding? Did you heal yourself? Did you heal a family member or somebody outside of yourself who's having trouble mentally or something like that? If you didn't do that, I don't really give a shit. You feel me? Should we see what Keisha's talking about? Let's see what Keisha's talking about. What she got to say about it.
Be careful when people lead with fear to tell you something, causing you to be scared and afraid. Yes, Grabavoid was not a good person, but the technique of using numbers to manifest has been going on for centuries. We just somehow gave him the name for it, but we could easily call them cheat codes or affirmation.
Why is her mouth moving like that? Is this AI? I don't know. The black woman is kind of creeping me out. I don't know, black woman, you're creeping me out. Not because you're black, you know. The wig kind of bothers me, but let's go.
Codes. And I know all of you have been using angel numbers, so to cancel numbers is really unrealistic. We could easily look at Nikola Tesla and how he was extremely racist and problematic, but how many of you still use the 369 method? What these men might have created for harm, we as powerful creators have taken that formula and made it into something positive and beautiful. Manifesting is all about belief, and if these—
Oh my God. Just so get to the point. So it's really you, and you're diffusing your responsibility to these numbers because of the Tesla 369 method has some type of mathematical structure behind it. You feel me? And I researched that before, but I want to know about the goddamn Grabavoid numbers. Now this is pissing me off that there's not, and it's kind of making me more interested. When something is kind of not explained directly, I feel like it's some mystery to it. And how am I scrolling this much and not getting a direct answer? And everything is like, use these numbers to attract money. Such a mundane fucking idiocy.
That is a good question. So, you know the number I gave you, the 750-217-15 number? People are asking, how do you activate that, or how do you even use it? Well, one of the best ways that I like doing it. So I write that number on the sheet of paper, 750-217-15. And then I take that sheet of paper, I stick it in my wallet, and I walk around with it. It's kind of like set it and forget it type of thing. But that's how the numbers work, is you put it out in the universe and let the universe do its work. There's going to be more healing Grabavoid numbers coming up. Watch for those. You are loved and I am blessed. Have an—
All right, nigga. I guess I'm not going to get any direct answers here. I'm going to have to do some deep diving at another point I guess I need to do some research on who Grabavoid is. You feel me? So that's what I'll do. Probably I'll do this off of here. I'll do my own little deep dive into Grabavoid, who he is, what he's about, and what the origins of these numbers are. Where do I want to go right now with it? Let's go mess with Schizo Dump. Let's go mess with Schizo Dump. Hold on. Let's take this down for a second. We're gonna mess with Schizo Dump for a second. SCH. Because this guy, you know, just like anybody else, we all have our issues. But I like, basically when it comes to information, I like anybody who I can tell, even as a human, you might have your biases. When you're speaking, I can tell that you don't have a full-on agenda. At least the ideas are coming from your research in your mind, and you're not trying to push me into an animal farm. You're not trying to get me to think a certain thing or believe a certain thing or whatever. You feel me? So let's go here with it. 1 second. We'll have it up in a second. Because we went to like different flavors, Loosh. My experiences in the prison planet. This is an interesting one where, let's not get into that one. Time to put your boom. Does the internet generate Loosh? That's interesting. And this is one of those. Yeah, let's go here. One moment. Yeah, let me pull this up. Add stage.
All right, so for this video, I just wanted to talk about, really quickly, this group of people that have been able to sort of categorize in this prison planet, which is, I like to give them the term Loosh cattle, which this is a term that I've given to people who are extremely predictable in their emotions, right? Like in the same way that a cow is milked for their milk, loosh cattle on the prison planet are essentially looshed in the same way that where essentially it's like the image that comes to mind whenever it comes to like this term loosh cattle. It's that guy who cried at like when he cried at like a Star Wars trailer or something. Like it was like it's like the new Disney slop, like the new Disney Star Wars slop, right? And this guy was reacting to it, and he was all crying. He was crying to the point where it's like you're watching your firstborn child being birthed or something, and like he's having that level of emotional reaction to a fucking Star Wars trailer, right? And so that and so that level of like emotional like being able to get someone to react predictably and emotionally to things, that is cattle behavior. It's like every time someone watches like a movie or whatever, right? It's like whenever I watch a movie, I don't I've realized that I've actually watched less and less movies as time went on. Like I'm not as interested in TV shows, I'm not as interested in movies anymore as much. um and I don't know why that is. Maybe that is like something in my spirit or something in my soul that's just like, oh, okay, like you're not like TV shows and like movies and all.
That is 100% a byproduct of more awareness, awakening, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That shit just don't hit the same. You feel me? Think about it. Think about it when you thought shit was real. When you didn't know all these rappers were lying, like the music hit more. You feel me? When you knew half these guys were fucking liars, the music hit more. You thought it was authentic. And that's interesting. Even though something is not authentic, you are really the source of everything. So you thinking it is authentic is enough for it to be authentic, even though it's not. You feel me? And through that, maybe you can be milked for your loosh, like he's talking about right now.
All that stuff that's it's holding you back from something. I don't know if that's what it is, but yeah. I mean, like TVs and movies are pretty much like um like the bread and circuses of this prison planet. It's a huge part of the bread and circuses of the prison planet. But one of the things that I think is interesting is that whenever NPCs watch movies, whenever loose cattle watch movies, like it's not the emotion necessarily, because having emotions is like a normal part of the human experience. It's not having the emotions. It's more like how on cue the emotions are. It's like the how it's like how it's like anytime there's a sad scene, the people get sad. Anytime there's like a scene where it's like high stakes or whatever.
I deal with this guy's channel more when I want to get into like this free thinking schizo mode. His channel is called Schizo Dump, for one. It's more of a guy rambling. I like hitting. Let's go here. I like hitting the channel called Hidden Amuraka more. You feel me? Perception, let's go. Digital sorcery. Digital sorcery. Maybe if I spell it. Am I spelling it right? The loose harvest. Perception versus control. Let's go here.
Hidden War. In part 1, we mapped the battlefield. We exposed the 3 invisible classes shaping modern civilization: the normies, the stabilizers, the agents of the matrix, the emotional shock absorbers, the human glue that keeps the broken systems functioning. They enforce consensus reality. They defend institutions even as those institutions hollow them out. They don't run the system, but they carry it on their back. Next was the psychopaths, the social climbers, the exploiters, the emotional dead zone. They rise upward because modern systems reward manipulation, optics, and moral flexibility. They dominate politics, finance, corporate leadership, intelligence agencies, and media. They don't believe in the story. They create the story in their image. Lastly is the schizos, the pattern seers, the glitch noticers, the one who sees too much too early. The schizos fall outward because uncontrolled perception destabilizes systems. They connect dots they're not supposed to. They threaten narratives simply by noticing inconsistencies. So they are isolated, medicated, ridiculed, censored, or erased. And we showed how psychopaths engineer reality, normies enforce reality. We've all felt normie shaming. Schizos break reality. This wasn't a metaphor. This was a clinical structural diagnosis. Welcome to Hidden America, where magic meets cybernetics, and the code behind reality reveals itself. If part one was the map, part two is the timeline, because the hidden war isn't theoretical anymore. The boiling pot is mixing over. Over the last decade, something broke. Institutions.
I'm gonna play this a bit quicker. Hold on. Playback speed. Look at 125.
Stopped pretending they were legitimate. Narratives stopped making sense. Truth stopped being negotiable. Censorship stopped being subtle. What you're watching right now is not polarization, it's a phase transition. We are entering a post-truth reality. The system is no longer trying to integrate the schizos, it's trying to delete them. The normies are no longer just enforcing reality, they're being weaponized as social antibodies. In the psychopath class, they're no longer hiding behind ideology, they're moving into open managerial control. And here's the part no one wants to say out loud. Each civilization eventually reaches a moment where reality becomes too expensive to maintain. At that moment, systems stop correcting themselves. They start selecting who is allowed to see. And that moment is now. Part one showed you the classes. Part two shows you the purge. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why saying the wrong thing now costs more than breaking the law. Why seeing the wrong pattern gets you flagged as unstable. Why truth is being rebranded as pathology. And why the real war isn't left versus right. It's perception versus control. Before we go any further, here's a quick battlefield refresher. Not theory, not philosophy, operational profiles, archetypes. First, we have the normie, also called the Hylic, the golem, or in their baseline form, the NPC. Normies stabilize the system by enforcing consensus reality. They use obedience disguised as morality. They outsource thinking to authority. Their main weapons are shaming, cancellation, and social exclusion. They do not create reality, they police it. Next is the psychopath class, also known as Loosh hunters, demons incarnate, or archons. Psychopaths exploit the system for dominance and extraction. They use instrumental intelligence without conscience. They master optics, incentives, and manipulation. Their weapons include everything normies use, plus narrative engineering, institutional capture, narcissism, and divide and rule tactics. They don't believe in this system, they weaponize it for the purpose of extracting emotional energy, or loosh. To psychopaths, this is the true motive and goal. Lastly is the schizo, also known as the synchronist, the mystic, the autist, or the pattern recognizer, the hermit, magician, neo, or the one. Schizo is reclaimed in mimetic insults used as armor. They perceive what the system cannot. They recognize patterns beyond social permission. They see meta patterns others filter out. Their weapons are insight, foresight, and symbolic literacy. They do not fit in the system. They see through it. And that's the triad. That's the war. And now, here's what changed. Because the rules you saw in part 1 no longer apply. The system has shifted into survival mode. Beneath normies, psychopaths, and schizos is a fourth force. Not a person, not a group, an adaptive system. Call it what you may. The Matrix, the Machine, Leviathan, the Black Cube, consensus reality, the wheel of Samsara. The system doesn't look conscious, but it is. What you put in, you get out. It is self-preserving. It is optimizing. It rewards behaviors that sustain it and suppress those that threaten it. Normies enforce it unconsciously. Psychopaths exploit it deliberately.
Interesting. The system itself is an egregor. Interesting.
Schizos destabilize it accidentally. The system doesn't care about truth. It doesn't care about morality. And it doesn't care about suffering. All it cares about is continuation. That's why good people still enforce lies. That's why cruelty feels impersonal. That's why resistance triggers automatic defense mechanisms. When the system is threatened, it doesn't argue, it activates. So let's go over some subcategories and masks. Most people aren't pure normies, psychopaths, or schizos. They're hybrids. They shift masks under pressure. They mutate roles depending on incentives. So instead of fixed...
Wavy, are you there? Or anybody who happens to be listening right now. Because I don't know, people are just scared to say something in the chat. I don't really know why. You feel me? Especially people who've been watching for a while. Like if I'm watching something random, I'll shout out the person to be like, yo, this is interesting or not. But this might seem random. Does this sound like an Indian guy to you? Let me know in the chat. Does this sound like an Indian guy to you?
identities. Think of these as operating modes. For the schizo subtypes, these are the perception class. First is the autist, extremely signal clarity, low tolerance for social noise, hyper-focus, brutally honest pattern detection, once misunderstood as rude or weird. Second is the synchronist, experiences life as symbolic feedback loops, notices meaningful coincidences, sees narrative arcs in real time, feels like reality is talking back. Third is the mystic. This is the direct experiential gnosis, not belief, contact. Altered states, non-local perception, often labeled delusional by institutions. Fourth is the hermit. The hermit withdraws to preserve signal integrity. He reduces input to amplify clarity, avoids crowds, trends, and social noise. The hermit builds inner worlds when outer worlds collapse. Fifth is the magician. The magician learns to operate reality, uses symbols, language, timing, and psychology to bend outcomes. They can manifest influence when disciplined. They straddle the edge between schizo and psychopath. Six is the hero. They're forced into confrontation with the system. They are whistleblowers, prophets, sacrificial figures. They get punished for telling the truth too early. 7 is the analyst. They are grounded, pattern recognizers, uses logic, research, and systems thinking, bridges mysticism and material reality, less symbolic, more strategic, most resistant to fragmentation. Failure mode looks like cynicism, burnout, isolation from both mystics and normies. Next, we get to the psychopath subtypes, the extraction class. First is the dark magician, who ritualizes manipulation, narrative sorcery, learns schizo pattern recognition, and occult practices to increase extraction efficiency, uses symbols, psyops, and memetics as weapons to gain loosh. Second is the loosh hunter. The Loosh hunter feeds on emotional extraction, fear, outrage, lust, despair, and worship. They're addicted to drama and chaos. They engineer crises to farm reactions. Third is the demon, total instrumentalization of others. People become tools. Relationships become leverage. No inner brakes. Pure predator logic. Fourth is the Archon, manager of the false reality layers, runs institutions, narratives, and control systems, maintains illusions at scale, not flashy, but bureaucratic evil. Failure mode looks like hubris, exposure, internal betrayal, implosion when their narrative collapses. Finally are the normie subtypes, the enforcement class. First is the believer. The believer needs authority to feel safe. They fear ambivalence. They confuse obedience with goodness. They feel moral power when aligned with power. Second is the enforcer. The enforcer weaponizes morality, acts as deputized censor, reports, docks, cancels, and polices speech, feels righteous while doing harm. Third is the mockingbird. The mockingbird repeats approved scripts, outsources opinions to trending narratives, becomes an NPC amplifier node, believes repetition equals truth. Fourth is the shamer. The shamer punishes deviation, socially ostracizes dissidents, uses humiliation as control, feels pleasure from moral superiority. 5 is the sleeper agent. The sleeper agent feels something is wrong. It suppresses doubt to survive socially, occasionally glitches into schizo awareness, most likely to awaken under crisis. Failure mode is blind obedience, regret after collapse, cognitive dissonance when narratives break. 6 is the integrator. The integrator feels the system is broken but still wants peace. He tries to reconcile truth with social stability. He builds bridges between normies and schizos. They are most likely to defect from enforcement behavior. Failure mode looks like burnout or exile from both sides. Now, there's also role drift, how people mutate between classes, because no one is born a normie, psychopath, or schizo. These are adaptive survival roles in a hostile environment. People drift between them based on trauma, incentives, isolation, power, humiliation, and reward structures. A bullied schizo can become a dark magician. A broken normie can become an enforcer. A successful schizo can become a magician. A wounded hero can become a demon. A scared population can become an army of shamers. The system doesn't care which role you play. It just selects the one that stabilizes it. And right now, it's selecting for compliance, extraction, and silence. Quickly, I just want to say thank you to Metallicus for sponsoring this video and backing independent voices to restore comfort and emotional order. Psychopaths use it deliberately to neutralize threats without direct confrontation. Both benefit. The schizo, the pattern recognizer, is the target. Why? Because they speak too early. They break the spell. They destabilize the shared illusion, the consensus reality. But the goal is not to debate. The goal is silencing. Now, there's one thing called the Mr. Smith effect. Why normie shaming feels automatic. In the Matrix, Agent Smith can possess any NPC to defend the system. Normie shaming functions the same way, not literally, but behaviorally. When a schizo threatens consensus reality, any normie or psychopath can become an enforcer, an agent of the Matrix. The tone turns flat, moralistic, and hostile. Individual personality disappears. The responses feel scripted, not personal. This is the Mr. Smith effect. It explains why strangers react as if personally attacked. Conversations suddenly become identical. Nuance vanishes. Ridicule replaces curiosity. The normie is not choosing cruelty. They are being activated by threat perception, whether consciously or not. We can see the key parallels in the film. Agent Smith protects the Matrix. Normies protect consensus reality. Mr. Smith is able to instantly possess anyone. This is instant shaming response. We see identical dialogue, scripted phrases, and moral cliches, and most of all, overreaction. The threat level feels existential, not intellectual. The system does not debate threats, it neutralizes them. And why do psychopaths love the Mr. Smith effect? Psychopaths rarely attack directly. They trigger the crowd by framing schizoperception as dangerous, immoral, embarrassing. They outsource suppression to normies.
If this isn't easily understandable to you, just think the whole COVID thing, the C9 thing, the C19 thing. You feel me? That was a perfect example. You got to see exactly where everybody fits within these classes that he's talking about.
The schizo is not defeated by argument, they are drowned by multiplication. If you notice, sudden tone shift, scripted phrases, loss of individual reasoning, emotional escalation without new information, you are no longer in a conversation. You are in a defense response, a Mr. Smith effect. You are speaking to the system, protecting itself through a human interface. The goal remains the same, silencing. Most people see it at home first. The normie parent enforces normalcy, obedience, reputation. The psychopath parent controls, gaslights, extracts both the other parent and child. One child is usually the normie, and sometimes you get the schizo child who notices contradictions and asks forbidden questions. The schizo is labeled difficult, crazy, disrespectful, unstable. Before they are old enough to name the war, they feel the effects of the triad. But once you see normie shaming, it loses half its power because it only works if you think you're being debated. You're not. You're being socially conditioned, brainwashed. The moment you stop defending yourself and start naming the mechanism, the spell breaks. And that's why this knowledge is considered dangerous. Next, we must discuss loosh hunting. Pathy. Loosh hunting is the extraction of emotional energy.
My bad. I meant to pause it right there. This meme was interesting to me. Hold on. Psychopath horror temptress. Probably a schizo. Probably a schizo. Schizo always win. Normie pussy. Cuck chair equal loosh farming.
Next, we must discuss loosh hunting, the metabolic engine of psychopathy. Loosh hunting is the extraction of emotional energy from human systems, whether it be fear, rage, shame, desire, humiliation, worship, despair. Psychopaths do not merely seek power, they seek reaction, because reaction is leverage, reaction is control, reaction is profit, reaction is validation, reaction is dominance. What is loosh? In esoteric terms, loosh is psycho-emotional output. In modern terms, it's engagement, outrage cycles, attention, trauma bonding, dependency, virality, clicks, retention, social amplification, different language, same substance, the inner G. Loosh is what happens when human emotion is converted into influence, money, narrative power, institutional momentum, or algorithmic visibility. It is the currency of the modern control system. And this is not a metaphor. When platforms optimize for outrage, when news monetize fear, when politics run on panic, when influencers farm humiliation, when corporations provoke culture wars, when scandals are ritualized instead of resolved, That is Loosh harvesting. You're watching emotional energy being converted into power at scale. Now you may ask, how do psychopaths harvest Loosh? Psychopaths don't hunt randomly. They are energy vampires. They use repeatable extraction techniques, manufacturing crises, provoking moral panic, gaslighting victims into self-doubt, forcing double binds, damned if you do, damned if you don't, turning suffering into spectacle, public humiliation rituals, psyops, weaponized apologies, cancellation campaigns, rage bait, outrage porn, trauma cycles that never resolve. They don't want solutions. They want sustained emotional output. Resolution ends the feed. The Loosh pyramid is simple. The top layer is the psychopaths. They engineer extraction. They shape narratives. They profit from chaos.
Strange game, Professor Falcon. The only winning move seems to be not to play.
They feed on scale. The middle layer are the normies. They amplify Loosh unconsciously. They spread outrage. They enforce narratives. They mob targets. They feel moral while doing it. The bottom layer is the schizo class. They produce the highest quality Loosh when destabilized because their emotions are intense, symbolic, existential, identity bound, and spiritually charged, which makes their suffering the most valuable fuel source. And if you'd like to check out some videos that are too much for YouTube, check out my Patreon. YouTube members also get early access to all videos, plus exclusive badges and based emojis. On currency, Patreon-only videos dropped weekly and over 500 posts are archived. I view my Patreon as a living, breathing mystery school, and I hope to see you there. So you may be asking, why are schizos targeted? Schizos are not attacked because they are weak. They are attacked because they are dangerous to false realities. They notice contradictions. They break illusions, expose manipulation, destabilize narratives, resist gaslighting, and refuse scripted speech. That makes them narrative threats, symbolic threats, mimetic threats, institutional threats. So the system does two things at once. It tries to silence schizos. It tries to harvest them when silencing fails. A destabilized schizo produces despair Loosh, humiliation Loosh, rage Loosh, martyr Loosh, and breakdown Loosh, which is profitable, distracting, demoralizing, socially instructive, and serves as a warning to others. So you might ask, why schizos can't organize? Schizos don't fail to organize because they're stupid. They fail to organize because they're targeted for destabilization. They are socially isolated early. They are forced into survival mode. They are fractured by trauma. They are turned against each other. They are inflicted by dark magicians. They are baited into infighting. They are exhausted by constant suppression. Every time a schizo starts gaining coherence, a scandal appears, a cancellation hits, a betrayal happens, a psychological crisis emerges, a moral panic erupts, not accidentally, systematically. It's important to understand the role of the dark magician, the Loosh maximizer. The dark magician is the psychopath who learns schizo perception tech and occult sciences. They study symbolism, trauma, emetics, hypnosis, occult sciences, narrative framing, archetypes, emotional triggers, not to liberate minds, to farm them more efficiently. They create cults, they run psyops, they hijack movements, they turn revolutions into brands, they turn truth into theater, they weaponize schizo insights to increase extraction yield. And normies are used as Loosh amplifiers. Normies don't know they're producing Loosh. They think they're being moral, protecting society, fighting evil, defending truth, enforcing decency. But functionally, they are outrage distributors, humiliation amplifiers, cancellation engines, mob infrastructure, trauma spreaders, and amplifiers. They don't harvest Loosh, they multiply it. This turns into the feedback loop of hell. And here is the closed loop. Psychopaths provoke chaos. Normies amplify outrage. Schizos destabilize. Loosh output spikes. Algorithms reward the spike. Power consolidates upward. Incentives lock in. Repeat at higher intensity. That's not culture. That's a harvest cycle. And why is this accelerating now? Loosh harvesting used to be slow. Now it's automated. Social media, 24/7 news, algorithmic feeds, outrage economics, attention markets, surveillance capitalism. The system has evolved into a real-time
Has anybody seen like the Shining Part 2 or whatever, the Doctor Sleep, and how that coven of witches that was extracting the so-called steam or the adrena from the kids or whatever through torturing them. There was a scene where they're talking about how the so-called steam is like, it's like the steam is weak these days. You feel me? And then the one of the witches is talking to like the main witch. I mean, like, I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's the chemicals in the food or this and that. He names all the stuff like, but he said, but the steam ain't hitting like it used to hit. You know what? I might do a whole show on that.
emotional extraction engine. And that's why everything feels more insane. Scandals never end. Politics never resolve. Humiliation is constant. Trauma is normalized. Cruelty is viral. And peace feels impossible. The feed must be fed. And this brings us to the bridge back to normie shaming. Normie shaming is not just social control, it's Loosh farming. It provokes emotional collapse. It generates humiliation. It creates viral.
Hold up. My headphones died.
Dog piles. It produces outrage cycles, supplies spectacle, reinforces power hierarchy. The shaming itself is the product, not the outcome. So here is the terrifying realization. The system wants sustained emotional output. That's why it never solves problem. Wars never end. Scandals never close. Conflicts never de-escalate. And trauma never heals because healing stops production. And production is the point. Once you see Loosh harvesting, you realize this isn't political. It isn't cultural. It isn't ideological. It's energetic economics. And that means the war you're watching is not over ideas. It's over who gets to feed. End of part 2.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Well put together. Well put together. I didn't expect to end up here exactly, but like I said, this show was going to be like a dream. It's going to be like your subconscious. Random, talking to you, showing you nonsense, trying to get you to do better. But yo, yeah. The next show I do is going to be, we're going to do a fun show next. We're going to do a fun, nonsensical show. I'm going to cook Thai City. You feel me? I'm trying to decide what to call it. I don't know if I'm going to call it simp psychos and spiritual whores, or if I'm going to call it talking about Thai City and other women. It's going to be one of those two. It's going to be simp psychos, simp psychopaths, and spiritual whores, or talking about Thai City and other women. I like the more simple one. I like the more simple one. You feel me? Well, yeah, we're gonna do a prolonged show. It's gonna be a fun one. You know, I know Wavy got out of here at some point, so I'll get him out of here. Peace, Wavy. Wavy been gone. So yeah, this is disagreeable. I'm disagreeable. We are disagreeable. This has been another one. I would say sleep well, but better than sleep well, sleep aware. Peace.